Hello, welcome to Reset. My name is Rob Smith. I'm the founder of That Day. And this session is giving you the opportunity to take a moment for yourself and have a little reset. I use the image here of a sailing boat because I like to use the analogy that when you're sailing, you're always doing one of three things. You are either sailing forward, you're trying to get to your destination, but there's two other things that you need to be doing. You need to be navigating. You need to work out that, am I indeed heading in the direction that I want to? And if I'm not, I need to bring myself slightly back on course. And the third thing you're doing is managing your vessel, maintaining your vessel. I'm looking out to see if there's a rip in the sail or there's a hole in the boat. I'm not a sailor, by the way, so I don't know all the terminology, but making sure that if there are any cracks, if there are any tears, that I'm tending to those, fixing them to ensure that I carry on towards my destination. So often in life, we're just concentrating on moving forward rather than working out our direction, working out where we're putting our focus and attention. And this short little session is designed to give you that opportunity. Three things before we start. Do not begin this if you don't have half an hour at least to yourself. Give yourself the time. This isn't something that can be rushed in 5 or 10 minutes. Don't skip through this video and try and just get the main bullet points. It's a workshop. It's something that you need to allocate enough time for. And like I said, 30 minutes is sort of the minimum. So if you haven't got time now, bring open your calendar and book in yourself half an hour to do this properly. If you are doing it now, please try and be free from distractions. So close your phone, close any email tabs, anything that might distract you from the process. When I do this myself, and I do this process every quarter myself, and when I'm coaching clients, I'll make sure as well that they're free from distractions. I'll tidy up my desk, I'll light a candle, I'll get the lighting right, I'll make sure the kids aren't in the house, all that sort of thing to make sure that I'm free from distractions. And finally, you're going to need a pen and paper. Pen and paper is best for this rather than typing, unless you struggle to, write with a pen and paper and you just find that your notes are much more ordered, better on a computer. I get that. However, we're going to be drawing a bit, we're going to be writing notes, we're going to be doing some numbers. So pen and paper tends to work best for the majority of people. So if you're ready there, free from distractions, with enough time and pen and paper, let's get started. So first of all, I want you to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? When you look at this wheel of emotions, wheel of feelings, feelings wheel, what words stand out to you as being most appropriate to how you're doing at the moment? Many people have seen this diagram before, but for good reason. I have this on my fridge and I can see it every morning. And it just gives me an opportunity to reflect, go, how am I doing today? So what words stand out to you? Some people find it easier to start on the inner circle, see what they're feeling, and then work their way out to perhaps a more descriptive word. But anything works. It's just a moment for you to reflect. So maybe you've seen a word now that represents how you're feeling. And maybe there's two words or three words, and that's absolutely normal. And the good thing is, if you're doing this as a recording in your own time, you can pause this whenever you like. You can pause it, take a bit more time. And I will be inviting you to pause to spend more time on certain exercises. Okay, who can resonate with this, right? I went through a period of really struggling to sleep, really struggling to fall asleep. I would lie awake at night after a busy day, and it was the first moment of quiet that I probably had in the day. And therefore, my brain is just going through all of these open tabs, all of these open tabs, all the things on my to-do list I haven't done yet, all the people I haven't got back to yet, all the things I said to myself that I would get done before the end of the day or the end of the week, all the things around the house that need doing, or maybe the big fears that occupy your mind sometimes as well. They would all suddenly flood into my brain, and I'd just get this sort of overwhelm and anxiety as I was trying to fall asleep. And what eventually brought me out of that period of time was doing something called a brain dump. Now, a brain dump might look something like this. Okay. This is just a quick one that I did. Maybe I'm thinking about the new website. Maybe I'm thinking about some areas of personal development I want to do. Maybe there's some people in my family I really want to catch up with. Maybe there's a feeling that I want to be spending more time in nature. Some people do spider diagrams, some people do lists. So, what you're going to do now is spend 5 minutes brain dumping all of your open tabs. So, blank sheet of paper and pen. I'd invite you to put a little bit of background music on. On Spotify, you can find journaling playlists or meditation playlists. They tend to be quite good. And take 5 minutes to do this. If you have your phone on you, set a timer. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Because often what happens is we might do it for 30 seconds and then skip over, but the gold often lies beneath the surface. Okay. And that can take a little bit of time to get that extra depth. So set a timer for 5 minutes, blank sheet of paper, and brain dump all of those open tabs. Pause the video now and get cracking. Okay. So hopefully you paused the video and you've done your brain dump. How did that feel? How was it getting all those things in your head down on paper? For some people, it can really calm their system. For others, it can bring things up, maybe that they haven't consciously been thinking about, but maybe subconsciously feeling. And there's no wrong or right response to this, but at least it's brought to light some things that perhaps you want to address in some way or focus on. So that's the start. Well done for doing that. The next step, we're going to create our wheel. So on a blank sheet of paper, what I want you to do is draw this big pizza. Okay, draw this big pizza slice. This big pizza with 8 slices. And we're going to do an exercise now where we're going to reflect on 8 different areas of our well-being and life, I suppose. And I'm going to ask you to rate your satisfaction and fulfillment in each of those areas. So the first area we're going to look at is sleep. So you'll see there, I've marked it as a 7. So if sleep's going pretty good, right? Then maybe it's a 7, okay? Now, the central point of this pizza is a 0. I am not satisfied or fulfilled at all in that area of my well-being or life at the moment. Out here is a 10. So you'll see I've shaded it and I've also put a number. So that's what I want you to do. So take a moment to do that with sleep now. How satisfied are you with your sleep at the moment? Let's go with your gut. You're going to work through this quite quickly. Next up, we're going to do this together. Here you go. Here's your list. Fuel. So working round your wheel, fuel. How satisfied and fulfilled are you with how you're fueling your body at the moment? And I say fuel rather than just food because I'm thinking about alcohol, I'm thinking about caffeine, I'm thinking about all that sort of thing. And I'm not here to give you the right or wrong way to approach these areas. I'm asking for your personal reflection on how satisfied and fulfilled are you with that at the moment. So let's just work around this nice and quick. Gut instinct, fuel, give it a number. Next, movement. Do you feel like your body can do what you want it to do at the moment? Do you feel like you've got the fitness, the strength, the flexibility that you want? Are you able to get in exercise if that's what you want to do? Are you able to get your steps in if that's what you want to do? How satisfied and fulfilled are you with how you're moving your body at this point in time? Next up, we've got mental well-being. Mental well-being. Now, a lower score here might be perhaps that you're being triggered by things quite a lot at the moment, and you're struggling to sort of return to baseline or homeostasis. Someone who's scoring higher in mental well-being, it's not that they're not experiencing feelings of sadness or disappointment or any kind of pain, but they're managing it and they're feeling like they can move through life in the way that they want to, despite the range of emotions that we can all experience. Or maybe you're feeling a numbness at the moment and that's bringing your score down. Maybe you're not feeling those emotions. So, gut instinct, mental well being, what's your score? Next up, we've got relationships. Relationships. How satisfied and fulfilled are you in your relationships at the moment? Now, this can bring up stuff for people. Some people divide this pizza slice into two at this point, and they might divide it. If they're in a romantic relationship, they might give that its own area, and then family and friends or other relationships in its own area as well. That's absolutely fine. I tend to just group them all together. How connected am I feeling at the moment? Moving round, we've got career. How satisfied and fulfilled are you in your career at the moment? Do you feel like you're progressing? Do you feel like there's opportunities to learn and grow where you're working at the moment? Financial. How satisfied and fulfilled are you in your financial situation at the moment? Do you feel like you're tucking away savings? Do you feel like things are moving in the right direction? Or is it something that you're just ostriching? You've got some debts, you're not saving, and you're just sort of ignoring it and blocking it out and leaving it for tomorrow. Maybe perhaps that's going to be a little bit of a lower score. Go with your gut. And finally, joy and fun. Have you got moments of play, moments of creativity, moments of fun, moments of laughter in your life? Have you got enough of that in your life at the moment? Are you having some new experiences, adventure, whatever joy and fun means to you? Have you got enough of that in your life at the moment? Okay. So you should have your completed wheel. And of course, you can pause at any moment if you need more time. You should have your completed wheel. And looking down at that now and seeing it in all its glory, what comes up? Are there areas where I'm actually doing all right in that area. I'm feeling good about that. And it's nice to recognize that. Or maybe there's some areas where you go, yeah, I just have not given that any focus. And I can start to see the effects that that has had on my well being. So take a moment to let that sink in. Maybe there's some reflections there. Okay, next step, creating your action table. This is where we're now going to take those reflections. We've brain dumped, we've checked in, we've brain dumped, we've created our wheel and gone into these 8 different areas. We're now going to try and draw out some actions. Okay, we're going to try and draw out some actions, something useful that we can put into practice now that we've done this reflective work. Okay, so I need you to draw this fresh sheet of paper. You can see it's got 5 columns. The first two are quite small because it's literally just going to be listing out your area and listing out your score. Okay, so you can keep those nice and narrow. The three, you're going to be writing a few bullet points in there. Okay, you're going to leave yourself enough room for each section. And then once you've finished you've finished all the columns, you're going to draw a line underneath and move on to the next one. This first one, I'm just going to talk you through as an example, and then I'm going to let you pause and complete this all together. Okay. So let's take mental well-being as an example. Let's say my score is 4. The next column is why not a 0? Okay. And even if your score is a 0, I'm going to encourage you to try extra hard to find something that's going okay in that area. But if it's not a 0, what's bringing that score up from a 0? So say my mental well-being score is a 4. Maybe I have got some supportive friends and it's sunny at the moment, which is lifting my mood. Like 2 or 3 things that's contributing to your mental well-being score going up. Okay. The next column is what would a 10 look and feel like? So this is when we start to visualize what full satisfaction and fulfillment in that area of life is for you. Not for anyone else, not what the scientists say it should be, but what it is for you. So for me in mental well-being, more time to rest and recharge would be great. Spending time in nature every week. Waking up feeling positive about my day ahead. So you can see there are some things in there about what it practically looks like and also what it feels like. Don't overanalyze your answers, just what comes up, 2 or 3 bullet points, okay? And the final column is one small action. What is one small action that I can take in the next week that's not dependent on anything else happening, that's going to improve my score from a 4 to a 5 or a 4 to a 4.5, maybe a bit higher, who knows? Okay, so on my reflection about spending more time in nature, and the importance of having supportive friends, maybe my action would be to go for a walk with Joe this Saturday morning in the Surrey Hills, someone who I want to spend more time with. And I want to do it out in nature. So I know what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, where I'm doing it, when I'm doing it. So I'm getting all of those specifics in there. That's really, really important. Okay. So if you can answer the what, when, who, where, how to your actions, then it's specific enough. Okay. So this is where you're going to pause and you're going to take 10 minutes, 10 minutes to do this. So you're going to set your timer again for 10 minutes. And of course, if you finish it all before then, that's fine. Or if you need longer, that's fine. But I'd encourage you to go into as much detail as you can in 10 minutes. Put a little playlist on if you want. Stay distraction free. If you do get distracted, come back to the exercise. Okay, so now this is your invitation to pause. And if you need to rewind and look at the table again to remind you, here it is, 10 minutes. Okay. Don't skip over this step. If you've just left it running, go back, pause, and do it. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Okay. Well done for doing that. Lots can come up. Lots can come up. But hopefully now you have distilled these areas that are important to you into little actions that feel achievable. Now, this is the key thing. They feel achievable. You're not trying to take your fulfillment and satisfaction to a 10, right? Straight away. We're just trying to move towards it. And we're never going to be 10s out of 10 on everything at all times. It's just never going to happen, right? So, but we can take consistent little actions towards that. I want you to look down at your actions now. And first of all, just check, are they specific? And if you need to pause and double check those, do that now. But are they specific? Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. The first is, which of these do you think will have the biggest impact on your well-being? Which of these actions is going to have the biggest impact on your well-being? Circle it now. My next question is, which of these areas have you been avoiding the most? I mentioned about ostriching, right? Head in the sand, just avoiding. Which area have you been avoiding the most? Go with your gut. Which one? So now you've circled which one you think is going to have the biggest impact. You've also circled the one which you've been avoiding. Quite often they're the same one, and that's fine. Or you've got two separate ones. You now need to pick one. Okay. Which one are you going to start with? Which one are you going to start with? All right. This is really important because we don't want to just add 8 tasks to our already big to-do list. It can feel overwhelming. So pick one and start there. See if you can do that when you said you're going to do it in the next week. Use accountability. Tell people you're going to do it. Try and do it with someone else, okay, to make sure it gets done. And if you have more capacity and more time to tick off more this week, amazing. But that's where you want to start, okay? That's it, folks. That is it. Very, very simple exercise. Like I said, something I do quarterly at least. When I first work with coaching clients, we'll often do this in the first session, or I would have sent them a recording to do in their own time, and then we reflect on it together. But a few reminders before you go. Remember to create space to empty your mind. It's so important, whether that's on paper, whether that's with someone that you trust, emptying it verbally. I've had it before I go to sleep. I say to my wife, Roz, I just need to like talk for 2 minutes. Is that all right? I just need to empty my brain. She's like, yeah, go for it. And she's like half asleep, lifts up her eye mask and goes, yeah, go on, go on. So create space to empty your mind. Take small actions for your well-being. We got to create a bit of movement. We got to create a bit of momentum here. We got to take some actions. Okay. If we put it off an ostrich, we know it only builds up and gets worse. So take an action. If you're struggling to take that action, make the action smaller and start. And finally, just remember to nourish your body and nurture your relationships. Try not to berate yourself too much for the food that you're eating or the lack of exercise. Instead, try and flip the mindset to how can I nourish my body today? How can I look after myself today? And how can I nurture my relationships? Okay. And be the person to take that first step and send that first message. And I love to talk about when it comes to relationships, rather than just catching up, right? A phone call catch up or a coffee catch up, can we create can we have an experience that we're going to remember? Can we go on a little adventure, even if that's to just go and see a play together, or go for a walk somewhere we've never walked before together? Like something where we can create a memory, right? That's something really powerful that we can do to nurture our relationships. If you want to say hi, you want to tell me how that was for you, or you need to get in contact for anything, my LinkedIn is easy to find me. Just type in Rob Smith that day and you'll see me there and you'll spot my ginger hair. And if you want to email me, you can email me at rob@thatday.uk. I hope that simple exercise has been useful in some way. Well done for giving yourself the time and the space to do that. And I hope you have a lovely, nourishing day.